Len, distinguished symposium participants, particularly overseas and interstate ones, and ladies and gentlemen, it's a singular honour to bring to a close the celebrations marking another milestone in the history of this iconic Australian institution, the Walter and Eliza Hall Institute of Medical Research. The splendid science we've heard about reminds us that the Hall Institute is not primarily about buildings. Yet, each building development has signalled a major transition. The humble beginning in 1915 was darkened by the tragic death of the director-designate Gordon Clunes Mackay Matheson from wounds received at Gallipoli. The modest space, one floor of the pathology block at the old Melbourne Hospital's Lonsdale Street site, was lent to the Commonwealth Serum Labs, now CSL, as part of the war effort. The 1944 move to Parkville, to the purpose-built four-storey annex to the new Royal Melbourne Hospital, marked the transition from Kellaway to Burnett as director, and saw a focused effort with primacy first to virology and then to immunology. The 1985 occupancy of the 15,000 square metre building, now termed WeHi 1, saw the Institute ready to embrace, in de Sola Price's terms, big science after its little science beginnings. It could now welcome the omics era, particularly proteomics and genomics, with space and equipment of international standard. Now, in 2012, the doubling in size, which WeHi 2 represents, brainchild of Suzanne Cory, rendered operative under Doug Hilton, sees the Hall Institute conceive its mission on a truly global scale, potentially able, with its satellite buildings in Bundoora and Kew, to grow to a world-sized body of 1,000 souls, including staff and students. Now, I suppose the Hall Institute is best known for basic research. Our symposium has placed much emphasis on translational science, and I think it's worth recalling that translational medicine was always part of the Hall Institute spectrum. Kellaway's expertise in the pharmacology of snake venoms was translated into a partnership which produced antivenines for the nation. Burnett's fundamental research into virus replication led to a brave but ultimately unsuccessful attempt to produce a live attenuated intranasal influenza vaccine. At the same time, he did establish the definitive technology for growing the flu virus in fertile hen's eggs, a method still used today for vaccine production. During my directorship, a highlight was the discovery of growth factors acting on hematogenous progenitor cells, guiding their division and differentiation. This fundamental molecular hematology was followed by the increasing use of clone CSFs, particularly GCSF, as aids to cancer treatment and bone marrow transplantation. Over 10 million patients have benefited from CSFs. At the same time, patients with autoimmune hepatitis and other autoimmune diseases flourished as azathioprine helped them to use much lower doses of corticosteroid drugs. The cancer research effort broadened during Suzanne Cory's time at the helm. David Vaux's stunning discovery of BCL2 as a major anti-apoptosis gene ushered in a race towards new anti-cancer drugs. Blocking the activities of BCL2 family proteins represents an entirely new approach to cancer treatment. As the symposium has shown, translational research has become widespread in the current Doug Hilton era. Exciting work is being done in breast cancer, building on the discovery of breast stem cells and progenitor cells. The long-established work on the proteomics and genomics of malaria has led to a possible live attenuated malaria vaccine and the identification of a new class of anti-inflammatory drugs for treating malaria. Vaccinology is booming also, with 2 possible negative vaccines for diabetes and celiac disease, with a novel potential antitoxic malaria vaccine, and through the targeting of antigens to CLEC9A on dendritic cells, leading to improved immune responses. Indeed, there are many more applied examples, all based on intelligent exploitation of fundamental research results. What else characterises the Hilton Directorship? Interdisciplinarity stands out as never before. Immunology, cell and molecular biology, haematology, structural biology, medicinal chemistry, bioinformatics, systems biology, and many other disciplines jostle one another in a veritable whirlpool of coordinated and synthetic science. Partnerships are blossoming all over. The Institute is reaching out locally, nationally, and internationally. Papers co-authored with outsiders abound, and locally, the bonds forged with our founding partner, the University of Melbourne, have occasioned much positive comment. Perhaps most characteristically, Doug Hilton's tremendous leadership in the glass ceiling wars is already bearing fruit. How many of you noticed that in this wonderful symposium, women speakers outnumbered men, albeit by a razor-thin margin? The number of outstanding young and youngish women scientists who grace the Institute, and who now populate the Australian medical research scene is truly amazing. Reassuringly, some aspects of the 2012 Hall Institute are not new. The prominence given to younger workers harks back to Burnett's day. Construing the research mission entirely in international terms has long been the norm. Our competition is the world. Respecting investigator-initiated, curiosity-driven basic research as the crucible, the fountain of applied discoveries, remains as central as ever. Sharing the adventure with a host of talented students and postdocs continues to constitute not a teaching load, but a teaching joy. The arc of the 97-year history of the Walter and Eliza Hall Institute of Medical Research casts a long shadow. As the centenary approaches, we should look at this brilliant new building with both pride and hope. Pride that impeccable standards can be maintained in a competitive and turbulent world. Hope that the spectrum of work, from pure to applied, can truly achieve our mission: mastery of disease through discovery. Thank you.